how did Heated Rivalry, a hockey romance drama, become such a huge cultural phenomenon? The unexpectedly mega-viral hit combines humor, sports, love, and self-discovery in a way that's not only drawn in audiences, but could even change the kinds of stories that get greenlit going forwards. So let's take a closer look at how this story came to be, all of the things that make it so special, and what might be coming next to truly understand how Heated Rivalry took over our screens and our lives.
You will murder me.
Maybe. Kidding me.
Heated Rivalry was adapted from the second book in Rachel Reed's Game Changer series. But the series itself had a pretty interesting beginning of its own. Instead of the now common story of fanfiction having the serial numbers filed off to be turned into original fiction that's then adapted into a film or show, Reed actually kind of went in the other direction. She had already written an original story, but didn't know how to get it published or even get feedback, and so reworked it to be fanfiction of Captain America and Bucky Barnes and posted it to AO3, Archive of Our Own. She told Salon, "Honestly, I felt bad about it. I knew this wasn't what Game Changer was. It's so embarrassing. I hate thinking of people reading it because I just rammed a bunch of extra Marvel characters into this story for no reason." After it gained some traction on the site, she began submitting the work, now with the stucky elements removed and the original characters Scott and Kip reclaiming their places in the story, the publishers, and eventually worked it into what became Book 1 of the series. Once released, the series became a huge hit in the romance fandom, writing an explosion of interest in sports-related romance stories.
You will not be so nice when we beat you.
That's not happening.
Eventually, it caught the attention of Letterkenny director and co-writer Jacob Tierney, who wanted to bring it to the big screen. Canadian TV has a long history of bringing to life provocative, compelling shows that cover stories that Hollywood might prefer to water down or sanitize.
Canada is fun.
Tierney, who did go on to write and direct the show, has said that a big part of what allowed the show to become the phenomenon that it is now was Crave's willingness to trust the creative team and let the show explore the full breadth of what made readers love the book so much. So what exactly is it that has everyone so hooked? Heated Rivalry follows the intertwined story of two hockey players. Clean-cut, cool-headed Shane Hollander, and fiery, cocky Ilya Rozanov. They are, on the surface, polar opposites.
And people say you're not funny.
They do?
Yeah. They say you're boring too.
Who says that?
Me.
And as they enter their rookie season, that makes them ripe for a rivalry story in the press and on the ice. But they quickly come to realize that both have more going on under the surface. While Shane and Ilya do both have a deep love for hockey, their drive for excellence and success is motivated by more than just their competitive natures. They've come to feel like they exist more as brands to be built up and cashed in on than as people. Shane's parents are caring, but can be a bit controlling in the way that they push him towards doing what's best.
I have very exciting news. Rolex is in.
Wow.
Ilya has become a cash cow for his family, who expect him to constantly keep moving up so that they can reap the rewards.
Я им все отдал. А сам чувствую себя пустым.
Я им пофиг. Смотрят на меня и видят либо банкомат, либо врага.
Shane is someone who always wants to have a plan. He thinks 10 steps ahead. No, this can lead to him stressing himself out further just as often as it helps him feel secure in his future. In order to assuage his anxiety, he always wants to feel like he's in control, and so he tries to keep his emotions locked down. But this effort can also make him come across as a little boring. Ilya is on the other end of the spectrum, loud, impulsive, and not at all afraid to say what he thinks. His attitude is a facade he's built up to protect the much softer person underneath. After a lifetime of dealing with the pressures of hockey and his overbearing father and the trauma of the loss of his mother.
She was so sad. And my dad was so hard on her.
Shane and Ilya began their relationship in the shadows. They're well aware that the hockey world does not embrace anything that comes across as anything less than traditionally hypermasculine, and fear that their entire careers would be ruined if anyone so much as thought that they might be anything other than completely straight. Ilya also has to worry about the consequences he would face not only from his family, but his home country of Russia.
I wouldn't be able to go home again. Ever. Do you get that?
Because your family?
Because Russia!
Ilya, being bisexual, plays up his escapades with women to create a ladies' man persona. He also has a close relationship with his friend Svetlana, who is able to be there for him at key moments. Shane eventually meets Rose, a famous movie star. They have a good rapport and start dating, though Rose, having been a theater kid all of her life, eventually starts to realize that they might not be as compatible romantically as she had hoped.
Wow, that is the best thing any gay boyfriend of mine has ever told me.
They stay friends, and being able to be open about this side of himself with someone helps lift some of the weight off of his shoulders so that he can begin moving towards self-acceptance. While Shane and Ilya's attraction to each other is immediate, it's also tied up in all of the fear and stress and emotional baggage that each of them carries. On top of that whole being the biggest rivals in a major sports league thing.
Being gay is one thing, but this your arch rival is another thing.
They're not only afraid of being found out by others, but also even entirely opening up to one another out of fear of getting hurt. This leads to an emotional wall between them that they, for a long time, never seem able to try to step past at the same time.
I guess I thought maybe we... Never mind.
But even given all of that, it's clear that they connect with and understand each other on a level that no one else does. No matter how many times they get pulled apart, this thread always pulls them back into each other's arms. Some people have had problems with the fact that the physical romance on the show isn't a slow burn, but not every relationship is a slow burn in that regard. Indeed, for many people, especially those who have long worked to specifically hide their emotions, the physical aspect comes much easier than the emotional one. So they're getting physical in episode 1, but not openly calling each other their boyfriends until 10 years later in episode 6 isn't actually that unrealistic for two guys in their position.
We're good here. My family is here. Your boyfriend is here.
My boyfriend?
I mean, yes. I think so, probably.
Their story illustrates how even those small moments of emotional openness and intimacy can feel monumental and sometimes even terrifying. Seeing their story ebb and evolve over this longer time span also gives us the opportunity to watch how they grow as individuals, but also how they change because of their relationship with each other.
How's your father?
I speak Russian now.
Scott and Kip's romance is the story of the first book in the series.
When I was a teenager, I realized that I may be that thing that hockey players like to throw around as an insult.
Here existing in the background until they get their turn in the spotlight in episode 3.
I mean, the best one's the blueberry one. Just when I make it for myself in the morning, I add a banana.
Oh, so you're kind of wild.
Their story serves as a counterbalance to Shane and Ilya's, with Scott's eventual public embrace of the relationship. It also keeps Shane and Ilya's story from feeling like it's meant to somehow be representative of the whole, which means the show can engage with their relationship as just theirs as individuals. Scott and Kip's story also shows how important visible representation is.
Fear is a powerful thing. But then I found the one thing that is more powerful.
His open embrace of his sexuality and his relationship is the thing that opens Shane and Ilya's eyes to new possibilities and spurs them to finally commit to one another in a real, concrete way. One of the best things about the show is that while it is unafraid to deal with trauma and pain, it doesn't solely focus on that, or make it feel like that's all the characters will ever be allowed to have, as so many queer stories long have, which we did a deep dive on in this video if you'd like to watch that next.
This is my actual nightmare, Ilya.
Okay. Then maybe it's time to wake up, yes?
Tierney told Yahoo Sports, "I think that as queer people, we do not get to see this very often. We don't get to see hot sex between consenting adults who want to be there and who are not going to be punished for it later in the story." Through all of its ups and downs, the show is always moving towards hope. And even though things don't always work out at first, it never frames that hope for a better future as misguided or unreachable. This all comes together in the 6th and final episode of Season 1, where Shane and Ilya finally get to spend a summer break together at Shane's cottage.
For the next 2 weeks, let's just be honest with each other about what we actually think and maybe how we really feel.
I will try.
They finally tear down those last walls between them and confess their love for one another. Things take a turn when Shane's father shows up unannounced and catches them kissing. Shane is filled with dread at having to finally open up to his parents about his sexuality, and in many stories this would have turned into a terrible confrontation. Heated Rivalry thankfully doesn't go in that direction. Things are definitely tense at first, but if anything, on his parents' part, It seems more out of surprise that their boring baby boy has kept this spicy B-plot going under their nose for a decade and they had no idea.
So you've been in love since...
No.
The show also isn't afraid to inject some humor into the situation.
He's visiting and we're,
Lovers.
no, Ilya, that's gross.
In the end, the most dramatic part of Shane's coming out isn't his parents shunning him or even being upset with him, but instead his mother's sadness at the realization that she had made him feel like he had to hide such an important part of who he is.
I'm sorry that I made you feel like you couldn't tell me.
It's their talking things out and Shane being able to forgive her that becomes the tear-jerking moment, not him being punished or harmed.
Please forgive me.
I forgive you, Mom.
Far from shunning him, they're all on board, after confirmation that Ilya will for sure be leaving the rival team in Boston, of course. And ever the manager, Shane's mom even immediately begins jumping in and thinking of ways to make Shane and Ilya's charity plan work.
Since rookie season.
Summer before.
Author Rachel Reed said that this ending on a high note was very deliberate on her part, writing in a piece for Maclean's, "I spoke to many gay and bisexual men to get feedback on how to write about their experience carefully and sensitively. The number one thing I heard from them was how many fictional gay love stories end in unnecessary tragedy. Heated Rivalry, on the other hand, and all of my books for that matter, have happy endings."
Thank you for pasta.
Thank you.
Drive safely, I love you.
Love you.
The season's ending was perfect in many ways, with Shane and Ilya finally getting to be together and not having to keep their love from each other or the other people they care about. But it is also a new beginning, which means that there's plenty of story left to tell. Reed's 2022 book, The Long Game, picks up with another time jump after Heated Rivalry left off, with the pair still dating in secret. It follows their story as Ilya, becoming more and more frustrated with having to hide, decide that he wants them to come out to the world. Shane, still laser focused on hockey and winning another Stanley Cup above all else, wants them to continue on as they are. A second season could cover that period between the two books or go straight into the story of The Long Game. There's also the possibility of a Bridgerton-esque changing of protagonists every season, as the other 4 books in the series feature the stories of other couples. The show has already been greenlit for a second season, so hopefully we'll be getting more details sooner rather than later. Heated Rivalry's mega success could be a great example for Hollywood if they're willing to learn the right lessons from it. Instead of just greenlighting a bunch of sports-related shows because, hey, this one had hockey, people must want sports, hopefully, studio decision-makers will see how deeply viewers have connected with Shane and Ilya's romance, and how the show itself was unafraid to be unashamedly sensual and gay and hopeful. Let us know, what are your predictions for Shane and Ilya's story in Season 2? If you've read the books, what parts are you most excited to see? And is there anything that you hope that they tweak or change before it makes it to our screens? That's The Take. Click here to watch the video we think you'll love, or here to check out a whole playlist of awesome content. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.